This whole fascination with the hijab thing, man, it's a little weird. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Sham Sharma show. Thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. So recently, the New Zealand government was encouraging everyone in New Zealand to wear the hijab or the headscarf to show solidarity with the Muslim community after 50 people were murdered by a white supremacist in Christchurch in New Zealand. So much so that even the New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern was wearing a hijab or a headscarf to show solidarity with the Muslim community. Now look, liberal people are important in society. I mean, I would myself consider myself a liberal on many social issues. But is that really the best way to show solidarity with the Muslim community? I mean, if that's the case, then that's awesome. I'm also looking forward to all New Zealand men getting circumcised to show solidarity with the Muslim community as well. I said, I'm looking forward to all the men getting circumcised to show solidarity with the Muslim community as well. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do it. Look, the infatuation that I feel like some people in the West have with the hijab, especially the liberal community, it's a bit weird. But then it does make sense because according to Ilhan Omar, the congresswoman from America, clearly the hijab stands for power, liberation, beauty, and resistance.
Are you sure about that?
Of course. Just like the USSR stood for liberal free markets and individual liberty. Wait, you don't think the hijab stands for power, beauty, liberation, and resistance? Well, of course you don't. Because you're an Islamophobe, you're a bigot, and you hate Muslims. No. I don't want to listen to your excuses. If you question Islam, if you question Islamic principles, if you question the hijab, it obviously means that you hate Muslims. Well, Linda Sarsour said so it must be true. She said that it takes courage to wear a hijab. Hijab is a symbol of empowerment. Now see, that's interesting. Well, it is interesting because hijab literally means curtain in Arabic. It also means hiding, obstructing, and isolating someone or something. That doesn't sound very empowering, does it? The hijab promotes the idea that women are a sexual distraction to men. And us men, we're so weak. We can't control ourselves. We can't help ourselves. You know me, man. I see a woman's hair or her ankles, I just can't help myself. So essentially, at the end of the day, it's really her fault for showing me her hair. And it's obviously bullshit because it's promoting a social attitude that responsibility should not fall on men for not sexually harassing women. And in turn, it actually puts the onus and the responsibility on the victim, the woman herself. So basically, it's the woman's job to protect herself by covering up and not showing her hair to the men. How empowering. It's incredible how this is not amazingly insulting to the feminist movement, and it's also incredible that the feminist movement in the West supports it so much. Because according to the feminist movement, the men and the women should be sharing responsibility equally. Women do not dress according to what men think. Women dress for themselves. But for some reason, they're completely happy in supporting this deeply misogynistic symbol of oppression. How empowering. See, most mosques around the world deny women the right to pray without the headscarf on. Women can even be denied entry into a mosque if they do not have their head covered. So Muslims talk about Islam being women friendly, many mosques talk about Islam being women friendly and the mosques being women friendly. So if these mosques really want to be women friendly, then they should make the headscarf optional in the mosques. Well, you're just saying that because you're a cisgender, heteronormative, Islamophobe asshole. It's a little excessive. Feels a bit personal. But okay. Let's hear from some Muslim women themselves. There are plenty of women from an Islamic background like Ayan Hirsi Ali, like Yasmin Muhammad, like Masih Alinejad, like Asra Nomani, who openly talk about the pressures put on women around the world, whether it's Iran or Saudi Arabia, where it's actually law to wear the hijab. Even in countries where it's not law to wear the hijab, for example, India, Pakistan, and Malaysia, there is still an incredible amount of pressure put on Muslim women by their families, by their religious leaders, to wear the hijab and be modest. There are thousands of women across the world that are risking their lives in fighting these modesty codes that have been applied on them. Look, I understand many liberals that are celebrating World Hijab Day and that are calling Ilhan Omar and Linda Sarsour brave for wearing the hijab.
So controversial yet so brave.
takes a lot of bravery to be that vulnerable, and I'm so proud of this community.
I know they're coming from a good place. I know they're coming from a place where they want to make sure everyone feels included in the society. But here's the thing, Muslim women in the West usually have a choice in wearing a hijab. They can usually clearly choose whether or not to wear the hijab. But in fetishizing the hijab, you're basically insulting millions of women around the world that do not have a choice in this matter and are forced to wear the hijab. And I also am aware that anti-Muslim bigotry exists in the West and around the world. It's a real thing. But we must not confuse criticizing Islam with hating Muslims. There's a huge difference between the two. I try to maintain that difference myself. It's very important to continue to criticize and critique Islamic principles because millions of men and women's lives depend upon it. And it's also very interesting because the same people that support the hijab are also the same people that say that the Confederate monuments should be removed. But that's different, Sham. The Confederacy was about states' rights. Yeah, but it also really wanted to keep slavery around. So Confederate monuments, which are maintained by taxpayer dollars, are a constant middle finger to black taxpayers across America. And that is obviously a horrible thing. And celebrating the hijab is similar because celebrating the hijab is basically a middle finger to millions of women across the world that are forced to wear it and have no choice in the matter. Look, I want to make one thing very clear. I am not asking or calling for a ban on the hijab. I think in a free society, people should be able to wear whatever they want. If people can dress like this, then they should have the freedom to dress like a tent as well. But let's not pretend that this garment symbolizes power and freedom and beauty and resistance when it clearly means bondage and powerlessness for millions of women around the world. Look, the thing is, you don't have to be very brave to wear the hijab in America. It's actually pretty lucrative to wear the hijab in America. It helps you stand out, according to Linda Sarsour. You'll be featured on talk shows. You'll be made important parts of feminist movements. You'll be on the cover of Vogue. You'll have wonderful opinion pieces done on you. So wearing the hijab in America and being a Muslim in America is actually pretty lucrative in certain circles. But what's real bravery is risking your life to fight for your rights, risking your life to be able to be equal to other human beings. So let's showcase some real bravery, shall we?
No.
Alright guys, thank you for watching today's episode. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, I want to ask you, do you think that the hijab is a symbol of freedom and liberation and beauty and power? Or do you disagree with that claim? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Also guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to leave a like, leave a thumbs up. It helps me out, it helps the channel out. If you like what we do here on the Sham Sharma Show, and if you would like to support the Sham Sharma Show, please make sure to click on the Patreon link down below in the description and become a patron of the show and support however you would like. If you enjoyed today's episode, if you like what we do here on the Sham Sharma Show and you've not subscribed already, what are you doing? Go down, click on the subscribe button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can click over here to subscribe as well. I will see you for the next episode, and until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you soon.